Hello, how's everybody doing today? This is Scott Kidd on the Yacht Captain Investor podcast, and I have here Captain Liam of Motor Yacht Unbridled. How you doing today, Liam?
Oh, blessed. Absolutely blessed. God, I had a good start to the day. I was trying some of that Breathwork, and then I'm out to sea. So I really can't complain about much right now. I'm on a beautiful yacht crossing between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic in the Mona Passage, and weather's good, which is another blessing. So all good on my end. Thanks for asking.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much for being here. So you're in Puerto Rico now?
Yeah, just Mona Passage, 12, 13 knots underway on the bridge. Got a good
nice.
Off to Panama, so.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're headed around. That's right. You're heading around to Alaska. That's going to be an awesome trip. It's going to be.
Well, we're chasing the charters. That's the kind of motto we have with the boss right now. He's a great owner and a successful owner, and he's had boats from Zoom and Mike Finnegan as captain. He's got some great programs.
Oh, great. Well, for people that don't know who you are, just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background on who you are, what you do.
I'm just a young fella from Australia, Byron Bay, East Coast. Grew up on the surfing and fishing and diving, and the boats just somehow got bigger. And I don't know, the more crew seem to be walking around every couple of years, and I really enjoy just what I do. I enjoy kind of building a crew. That's probably the most thing I'm proud of. Is when I join a platform, I discuss with the owner what he's looking for, and I try and work out how to get a crew that suits an owner, that suits a charter client, and also suits the charter brokers, because it's a challenging field of what we're in to keep that balance between brokers, owners, and crew. That's what I try and do. And you got to deflect a little bit, you got to keep the borders, and you got to keep the peace. And I enjoy it. I get a kick out of it, you know.
Most definitely. I would say it's also one of my favorite parts of the job is, building the crew, building the platform, and actually building up the crew, especially if they want to progress and stuff. Like I have, probably 4 or 5 mates that are now captains, which I'm really, really proud of those guys, and I expect and want them to just supersede everything that I've done and just, be the best they can be. And that's just such a rewarding thing, when I see them. It makes me really, really happy and proud, of these guys, because it's we get to do this, and then also we get to teach other people on how to do all these things. And there's so many facets of this job that I love, and although it's challenging at times, what would you say is something that you enjoy? That because on the day-to-day, I get a lot of people asking, like, well, what do you guys really do all day? Like, what's one of your favorite things to do other than just cruising through the Mona Passage? That's one of my fun things.
Yeah, for me, we talked a couple of things there, and the one thing I took away is, what's the goal? And the goal is for a client to find that relaxation. And you've done this long enough, and we're showing our age now by talking about junior crew that are now captains. And one came to me in Crown Bay Marina, and he's like, Captain Liam. I'm like, pleasure to see you. And I've seen his career progress, and it's been 15 years. Wow. I saw him as a junior fisherman in Bahamas on a little dinghy, and now he's captain. Khalil, his name is, from Bahamas, and he's a captain. So,
I know Khalil.
Beautiful
great kid. Oh yeah. He's not a kid anymore. He's a man.
He's a man. Yeah, I saw him as a kid. I think I was the first boat he joined, and you see them progress, and the good people stick around, and they don't see it like a hobby or they stick it out season after season. But I do it for the kick of that little adrenaline, a rush I get from when the owners are super relaxed, and it's sometimes by themselves on the bow. It's sometimes with their kids fishing.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's with just in a moment there. It only happens, to be honest, once or twice a trip. When they get that complete zone out.
Yeah.
But that's what I really enjoy. But I think the older I get, the bigger the challenges for some reason.
True.
The harder it is to detach from that. So
yeah, it really is. I mean, when I know I've done my job is when I go to the primary, and then some of their guests and say, well, you guys need anything? And they just kind of sit there and they're kind of dazed over and go, no, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
When you get to that point where they're that relaxed and that comfortable comfortable, then it's like, all right, hey guys, leave them alone. They're in their spot. They're in their zone. Just give them a minute. Let them enjoy it. Service is one thing, because we always try to be on top of it, but we also need to know when to push back and engage all that stuff. Such a rewarding thing when you get somebody to that spot. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges these days, other than putting together and finding the right crew for the right job? What was one of the bigger challenges?
Other than finding the right crew for the right job, it's probably establishing a network of standards within different captains. And I know now that there's a lot of WhatsApp groups, and that's fantastic transparency, but there's still this little tension between captains and like competition almost.
And egocentric.
And it's so refreshing to work with you, Scott. I've watched your platform for a couple of years now from a real estate perspective, because I invested in Florida, which is I don't know if it's a good or bad decision, but when you start getting the insurance costs and the floods, I've got through it, and I've got a beautiful little house in Jupiter I'm proud of. But from that kind of perspective, I really do see the challenges that we face. You know what I mean? So it's good to work with someone who doesn't get upset or is not in a competition and happy to share information with a common goal of making the clients happy.
And for me, it's always like, how can I add value? How can I help or show somebody else? How can I make us better? It's that saying that I always abide by and follow is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So it's something I keep repeating to myself, because people need to keep hearing that, because we as a crew on the boat, we don't go anywhere without each other. A couple of us could drop out or whatever and we'll still make it, but like if we want a successful charter, everyone has to be firing, and the guests, we have to be synced with the guests, we have to be synced with the owners, and to run a safe operation, we need everyone to be in alignment and communicating, and that doesn't happen if we don't add value to each other. And I always listen, because I've had multitudes of crew members and people I've worked with and other businesses and stuff, where you ask them, hey, do you got it? Yeah, I got it. And it's like, well, could you repeat it? One thing that I learned that was a good trick was, hey, can you repeat back what I said to you? And then you get the pause.
I kind of got it.
Because I know communication is paramount for what we do, because a lot of times we get into some tight situations and we always need to act really quickly. I had quite a few friends in the military, and they told me, like, when the comms go down, like everyone gets in kind of a line, and like everyone's a certain spacing apart. You shout to the next person, they repeat back to you, and then you go down the line to the next person, they repeat back, and then no one moves until it's gone all the way down the line and all the way back. Because if not, you get into that telephone game thing where then all of a sudden everyone's doing something completely different. What's one of the tricks that you've learned, just like communicating with the crew and stuff, that might be helpful to other people?
I think just be approachable. Like, on Unbridled, it's a 58 Trinity. The captain's cabin is down in the crew mess area. The bridge, I actually work in the bridge. I think it was the chief officer's area, but there is an office down there, but I choose to work up here. And I just say to the crew, like, if there's anything wrong, just be transparent, because I use my experience as an expedition captain saying, the ocean will win. Like, Mother Ocean is going to win every time. You can't beat it. And it's going to bring out the best in you and the worst in you. So you have to be yourself, and that is the strength you need to get through. And if you're not yourself and you're not transparent and you're pretending you're a happy person when you're really not, it's not going to work. Just be an unhappy person and do your job and find peace in that, So that's the bit I've kind of find is helping crew be transparent. But the mental health space has really taken off, which is huge. But it goes back to what I was saying is people like yourself are so unique, Scott, you really are, because it's, I speak to brokers about you as well, and they're like, Scott's amazing. He's so humble, he's so quiet, he's so approachable. But that's what we're missing in the industry, and junior crew look up to you, and that's what we need to create, is an environment where junior crew look up to the leaders as captains and say, I want to be like that. I don't need to be aggressive. I don't need to be, really forceful and dominating in a sense. There's other ways.
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. I mean, it means a lot coming from you. And I forget a lot of times that what your actions. People are watching. This is such a small industry. I don't really try to do anything other than be myself, like you're saying, just to be genuine. And I think there was an old timer said to me one time. He said, I don't lie, because most of the time I forget what I said.
No, I said I had a captain once, and he wouldn't say anything. And he was an Australian captain, in his 60s. And somehow his message was so powerful by just listening.
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. I talk a lot, Scott. I'm terrible. Way too much. So I'm not a good example of my lesson. But I remember stewardesses would come to him and he would just be like, understood. Yeah, well, we're going to work on that. We'll work on that. And that was his saying. We'll work on that. And it just created a teamwork that would like, all right, doesn't matter what it is. We're going to work on it and we're not going to react, you know?
No, that's very nice, you know, because I don't know where I read it or where I heard it, but somebody said, good leaders do, great leaders listen.
Yeah.
It was something to that effect. I might have misquoted or what have you, but I'll stick with that for now because that's what I remember. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to.
I was going to say, what did you say? What did you say?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a good leader or not. You have to, for every crew, we have the tool.
Yeah.
You know, all these people say about this mental health thing is people, we have the tools. There's companies out there, there's platforms now, there's social media. We have it's just giving people the access to those tools and supporting them in the journey.
Yeah, and a lot of times the biggest thing with your mindset and, you know, mental health and stuff is just taking that break, or if you have somebody to talk to sometimes. A lot of times it's better if it's a stranger. You know, if somebody doesn't know you, you're willing to share with that person because you don't feel like you're going to be judged as much as
good point.
If it's a close friend or your family or what have you. You have all these predispositions with everything, and then you overthink it, and really it's just a story you made up in your head. If it's your brother or your sister, they might not even know that, I didn't know you were going through that. What do you need? You know, all you really have to do is put it out there, and sure, you might get shot down, but hey, you don't know if you don't ask. You know, what's something you do to like help your mindset or mental state, especially when we get busy?
You know, what I do and what I want to do. So what I do is just find a bit of space in the morning, and the crew sometimes think I'm not sociable. I don't work out with them, or I don't, go to crew dinners or drink beer or socialize. But that's my personal space. I really value that, and I spend it with my wife and my kids, and I value that little bit of time I can go for a walk and a swim just to, all right, let me just rebalance here and put my feet on the ground and feel Mother Earth, and without being too spiritual, just kind of coming back to the core being and saying, I'm going to swim, I can see a turtle, this is important where I am now, not where I need to be. I'm saying where I want to be is a lot of these captains get together from a professional point of view, but not many of us really get together from a personal point of view.
I would be really happy to do something like that, because I think it's just good to have an egoless space where we can all just chat about what's going on in our lives, and your family, because we don't, a lot of times, I say, for lack of a better word, shit runs uphill and downhill. We get hit from everywhere for us, and then we don't have a lot of other people to talk to, because sometimes when you might go to the bar or go to the restaurant and see all the other captains, or a lot of the other captains got the chip or the ego, and they just start talking about the same stuff. And I don't generally go where a lot of the other yachties go when I get off the boat, just because I don't want to talk about boats or anything. A lot of times I don't even want to talk to anybody. I just, like you saying, just take a walk, and I don't need to really have any destination. Some of the best times I've had is in the Bahamas, where I just took a walk, or the Caribbean or New England, you just walk for a while, and you happen to get into whatever you get into. Oh, there's a nice little bakery. I guess I'm hungry now. I'll get something to eat. And just kind of, it's early in the morning, and it gives you that nice reset. I mean, I know personally I get up and do my breathing and some meditation, and I read, and I write a little bit. Have you read the book Miracle Morning?
Miracle Morning, no.
It's a great book by Hal Elrod. I'll send you the details about it. It's a beautiful story about a guy who was in a really tragic accident, and I don't want to give the book away, but he overcame all that, and he did these things. It's called savers, where S is silence, A is affirmations, V visualization, E exercise, like a short exercise, like a walk, swim, like you're saying, reading and writing, like scribing and scribing. So he does that every morning for 5 minutes, and you can do sometimes, if it's the weekend or something, I do it for longer, and it gives me a good little reset and stuff, or I do a combination of them, just a couple of them. I try to do all of them, but if you have a morning routine and you do that, you could end up taking several hours, and then
exactly. And the older we get, the longer it takes too. It's like, all right,
everything takes.
My morning routine used to be 10 minutes go to work on the bridge for a watch. Now it's like half an hour. Got to get ready to go to the watch.
Get a coffee, and let me just walk around a little bit. Just kind of rub the eyes, and then it takes. for me, I know it takes a bit longer for my eyes to adjust, especially at nighttime. Part of the, I always say you're only old when you're dead. We're going to keep on going, keep on having fun until we're done.
Those groups you're doing, those meet and greets that you do, they're exciting. I see them all the time on social media.
Yeah, it's, originally I started to do, get involved with the real estate and a bunch of other yachties, and it kind of grew into more of a real estate and a yachty group and other business people and stuff. And actually we have one on Thursday in Fort Lauderdale, and again at Yacht Bar. And that's the biggest one, but I've since collaborated with friends of mine, Eric and Bobby. And Eric he's going nationwide all over. He and I've said, well, I'm only going to do these 3, but I'll collaborate and I share all this stuff out because he's kind of like us. He's a very easygoing, he's a really nice guy, and he just wants to help other people, connect people. So he does these events and stuff. He does about 4 events a year, and then I think he's in Aspen, Colorado, Tampa, Orlando, Washington D.C., Baltimore, Miami. Just I can't even remember all of them, but his name of his group is called Like Minded, and it's great because the people that come are like minded. I started my group because the people that that when I was trying to learn about multifamily real estate and commercial real estate, I tried to go to these meetups and stuff, but the first 10 of them or so I went to, everyone's just trying to sell me something. They funnel you in the back of the room, and then, oh, hey, buy my course, buy my coaching program, sign up for this, and this, and then it was pretty discouraging, but then I just said I would just keep going, and I went to one more, and I ended up meeting a business partner. She's great, and it was just people sitting around talking about real estate, talking about what they're doing, talking about their families, what things they're doing. They're having some drinks or eating some food. So it was great. I mean, and that kind of kicked it all off for me. And then eventually I figured, well, there's yachties that I didn't know about a lot of this stuff, and I'm still learning several years later all this stuff because there's just so much more to learn about, and it just keeps growing. But I figured other people, since I didn't know, other people would want to know. So I want to make sure that people know that all these options and opportunities are available. They don't have to get with me and do anything, but I just want them to know, and that, hey, all it takes is maybe you just come out and you meet one person that, hey, I was talking to this person about short-term rental, and now we're a partner, or they showed me how to do it, or whatever. I'd be happy. Not so long ago, that was me trying to figure it out. And God bless social media and YouTube and all that stuff, because it kind of gives you that avenue of all these tools you can take full advantage of and be able to, hey, if you want it, it's out there. If it's no matter what you're interested in, I'm sure there's a group for it.
Exactly. Well, that's what that work that you got me into it. I was always kind of thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? And I was really afraid of it. And that's that vulnerability. Yeah. I think men like, we're not going to even talk about it. And it kind of got on the curveball. And then I clicked on one of the links, and I was walking, and then I heard it, and I stopped, sat under a tree in the morning, and I did the breath work, and I was like, that's impressive. That's 15 years of my life that was beneficial, actually, believe it or not.
I can honestly say that getting into that breath work and stuff, that really changed my life, because it really gave me it made me kind of start doing the internal work that maybe I was doing it because I always exercised my whole life and stuff, and I guess that was my meditation or whatever. That's what I always did, because I knew I needed to get stress out or deal with what was inside, but I just didn't know, I knew how to do it. I know how to do it physically, but mentally and going in and doing the harder work, that took some time to realize that, and the breath work helped me with that. And I'm still working on, we're all a work in progress, but it's been really helpful to just keep me centered. And whenever things get stressful, there's all these other exercises that I'll share with you if you want, that are just like quick little resets that you can do throughout the day and stuff. And there's like box breathing, and there's coherence breathing, and all these other things that are really helpful. I think that really what you don't realize is that people always talk about nutrition, mental awareness, exercise and everything, but they rarely talk about breathing. For like a reset, there's they do it in the military as well, as box breathing, and then there's coherence breathing. It takes about 5 minutes. You you can do it a couple of times a day, or like after lunch you can do it, or before lunch and stuff. And it's those are really beneficial. I'll send you the links for them because I think you might like them, and you can share them with the crew and stuff if they need to.
Created a pretty exciting platform on Unbridled because there's no real, I'm not saying there's no restriction in what we do. There obviously is a standard, but it's pretty fun that we've kind of separated a crew side from a yacht luxury side. Yacht Unbridled is the yacht luxury side, but this Captain Liam thing is the crew side, and we're doing we're doing the yoga, we're showing the maintenance behind the scenes.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of fun, so I might try and bring that breathing in.
Let me know if you need help with that, or
absolutely.
I'd be glad to jump in and do that with you guys, wherever we are as well, because that'd be fun. Because I think when you do it by yourself, it's pretty good, but then when you do it with multiple other people, it's actually, you get a really good buzz and a good energy from it. Quite impressive. And I think
I'll tell you what, we've got these projectors now, and I'm sure we could put you up on a Zoom call on a projector size. There's Scott, there's Guru Scott.
Maybe I'll even put on my tuxedo T-shirt.
Oh, there you go. Dress up for the occasion.
Maybe the Elvis outfit, something like that.
Yeah, well, we got to do what we got to do on these people. And then how do you think I can create a space or be more, not vulnerable, but be more engaging with other captains to help, create some transparency in the industry, to move the industry forward from a standardized position, plus also a mental health perspective?
Well, I was speaking to a chef. I was on his podcast. His name is Chris. He's in Palma, and he started a chef business where he places chefs, and he's been wanting to start a group, and we were talking about doing something like that. But I think it would be something that we could do we could do an all-encompassing group, and then have because you can have like a Slack channel type thing where you have different channels for different, like for captains, for thing. And it's kind of in its infancy. We just kind of talked about it. I think we're going to talk over the next few days, but I have in my software that I can build out a group, and then we could maybe do something. But we can talk more about it, because I think it would be beneficial, because it'd be nice to have like the ego-less.
Exactly.
If you don't like it, you can look somewhere else.
This digital marketing, social media. One company said, "Okay, here's a script of what to see and do in Boston." I'm like, I can't read this script. Like, I've been to Boston for the last 20 years. Like, I can tell you what I know, and I rolled with what I knew, and that was probably better than the script, because it just starting and all that. It's not my style,
That's why the podcasts and everything else become more popular, because it's real talk. For people that want to get in contact with you, how would they get
well, we're just learning this social media thing on Unbridled, but I know there's the Instagram, Captain Liam Unbridled, or at Yacht Unbridled. Any of those messages come straight to my phone, and I try and deal with it directly.
I really appreciate you taking the time, and we're definitely going to be doing this again and be keeping in touch, and we're gonna build something great.
Already are, buddy. Believe.
All right. Thank you so much.